Hey, yo, Andy, I appreciate you. 75 hard completed, class of 2021. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a new day. Oh, it's a new day.
What's going on, good friend? My name is Tyrell Patterson, and I want to welcome you to Perspective. Now, Perspective is a space where you and I learn life-changing principles, apply them to our daily lives so you can transform the world around you. Now, recently, me and my wife did the 75 Hard Challenge, created by Andy Frisella. If you don't know what 75 Hard is, you can go to 75hard.com, and there will have all the information on what 75 Hard is and what the 75 Hard Challenge is. Earlier this year, me and my wife agreed that we would do 75 Hard Challenge.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, the challenge consists of a few things. For 75 days straight, you have to drink a gallon of water a day. You have to read 10 pages of a book that's going to help you grow. You have to follow a dietary plan, dietary rubric, and stick to it. No cheat days.
What?
You also have to take a progress pic a day. You also have 2 different workouts for 45 minutes each, and one of them has to be outdoors. And you have to do this every single day for 75 days straight. If you mess up or you miss one thing or you fail to do it or complete it, you have to start over from the beginning.
Bro, I'm out, man. I'm tripping.
So in our journey, we actually had one start over the very first 8 days. I forgot that the exercises that we were doing, you had to have 2 workouts and one had to be outdoors, and we were doing both indoors for the first 8 days. So it wasn't related to food or anything like that, but still we had to start over nonetheless. But I just want to share a few things of what I learned in my 75 Hard process. The first thing I learned was discipline is everything. Like, discipline is a cheat code to life. Me personally, y'all, I can't stand doing dishes. I cannot stand doing dishes. And one thing I noticed one time is there were dishes to be done, and I told myself for maybe a millisecond, I don't want to do these dishes, and all of a sudden my body, I just started walking towards the dishes. I did the dishes, I dried the dishes, I put away the dishes, I got back to doing whatever I was doing beforehand. And I literally barely engaged with my I don't feel like it muscles. Barely engaged with them. They tried to creep up for a moment, but before you knew it, I was already moving in the direction to do the very thing I wanted to get done. One thing 75 Hard taught me was, if I want to make a decision and if there was nothing in my way, what would I want the outcome to be? I know that I would want those dishes done. Do I want to do them? Heck no, I don't, because I don't like to do dishes. But I knew that if there was nothing in my way, nothing was standing in my way for those dishes being done, what would I decide? I would decide to go ahead and do those dishes. Great, I just did it. So I noticed one thing was my feelings of how I felt like not doing something. Those feelings were going away, which could not fuel procrastination. Because what happens with procrastination is the reason we don't feel like doing something. We don't feel like taking care of something, and it's because we don't feel like it. We delay the process of actually getting something done. So it was a really big eye opener to me. Another thing I learned from 75 Hard is, one, it is tough to drink a gallon of water every single day. Like, it is tough, y'all. I mean, a couple times I had nothing but a couple hours left in the day. By the way, you only have until midnight to complete all of this, so you can't just be up till 2 a.m. because you didn't, read all your 10 pages or whatever it may be. But yeah, you have until midnight, and I remember a couple times on the weekend, I had a good, 3 bottles of water left, or equivalent of 32 ounces left to drink, and hey, I thought I was gonna make it. I was looking at my wife, like, Nicole, like, hey, this is it. I guess, day 40. I mean, I guess we almost made it. We almost made it. But I mean, there were some times that I was cutting it close. But it is hard to drink a gallon of water. When it came to managing your day, that's another thing 75 Hard taught me, is you literally are telling your time where to go. Every single day we would wake up around 4:30, 4:45 and be out with our first exercise at 5 a.m. And it really felt good to be able to wake up at the top of my morning, get the exercise done, and also do my reading. And one thing I realized was, it was allowing me to think clearly. I was able to not only tell my time what I would do with it, but I was actually able to clear my mind. I didn't wake up and jump up and go to work. I didn't wake up and start doing things that were not going to pour back into me. I started waking up in the morning and we were doing things that were pouring back into us. Another thing I realized with 75 Hard was me and my wife. I mean, if you're married, I would encourage you, do this with your spouse. If you and come up with a way to make it fun and engaging. But I think I put it on one of my IG posts. I spent over 4,600 minutes alone with my wife in this process, in the 75 days, at least, aside from date nights and other things. Spent well over 4,600 minutes with my wife, and that's just time spent together and developing and growing our internal bond and friendship in our foundation, which is imperative in a marriage, especially when your first 2 years, going on 3 years, like us. So the time we spent together, it was amazing. 75 Hard made me realize that I had terrible discipline. I wasn't even a bad reader. I wasn't a reader at all. I couldn't call myself a reader. I was able to get through 3 books and reading the 4th book now, but 10 pages a day is not hard. I mean, 30, 40 minutes, depending on the speed that you read. Man, I realized that it was discipline. 75 Hard showed me it was the little steps and the little disciplines every single day that allowed me to get things done. And if at the beginning of the 75 Hard process, I was to look at 3 books or 4 books to say, hey, I'm going to complete all these books, man, I think that would have been a little bit, not necessarily defeating, but a little bit challenging to say, hey, I'm going to get all these 3 books done. But what did I do? I just took it a book at a time, 10 pages at a time. And before you know it, I looked up and I had almost 4 books done in 75 days. My wife actually did get through 4 books. Shout out to you, babe, Nicole, if you're watching. She was able to get through 4 books and into her 5th book, which is amazing. Now, granted, one of the books that I read was long, like over 300 pages. It was a lot going on, but it was a very good book. Not to make this too long, but I really think 75 Hard showed me that you'd be surprised that the little habits that you build and the little disciplines that you build over time, what they grow to. 75 Hard also taught me to not have a finish line mentality with any process. A process is just that. It's a process. The process goes to completion, and time does not determine completion. Maturation, growth, and graduating steps determines the completion of a process. So just like this 5-pound dumbbell, if I was doing curls with this 5-pound dumbbell and I say I want to develop my bicep, or I want to develop a certain muscle group, it's not me doing this for 2 weeks that determines I'm done. It's the process of growing that certain muscle group that tells me that maybe I can go to another exercise now, or a different variation of the curl. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. Don't look at being done because of the time of a thing, but truly letting the evidence of growth be the determined factor whether you graduate through a process or maybe you have to stop and start over again. We have one start over. We didn't get defeated, but we just took care of business. We started over and we stayed focused. I think 75 Hard also taught me to don't do it alone. You cannot do this thing called life alone, let alone a mental toughness program like 75 Hard, but you cannot do life alone. You have to be able to run with people that want to go in the same direction that you're going into. You have to be willing to be vulnerable enough to pursue friendships, quality friendships, and people who have the similar priorities as you. And not that saying your old friendships won't facilitate what you're needing today, but that's what I'm saying. Your old friendships may not facilitate exactly what you need in the richness of friendship that determines really where you're going. Friendships are everything. I truly believe that through this process, I've realized that my wife is literally my best friend. Nicole is literally my best friend. She has seen my highs, my lows. She sees me at my weakest point. And even when in the morning I'm like, babe, it's really cold outside, she's like, hey, let's get it done. Let's go, let's get it. And so when you have someone, a partner to lock in step with you through even moments where you feel like you can't get something done yourself, it really pulls on you to be able to step up to the plate and to be able to do the same. And so I'm just so glad I was able to do this process with my wife. If you are ready to step up to the challenge, if you want to do 75hard.com, I would throw something in the comments, a flame, an emoji if you're ready. I don't mind sending you the information that I found, any tips and tricks. If anyone else has done 75 hard and you're watching this, please put something in the comments. Also share this video with anyone else who is looking for different ways to grow their mental toughness and their discipline. But if you're up for the challenge, I encourage you, do 75 hard. It's worth every single day, and you won't be mad that you did it. If this episode helped you, inspired you in any way, you like, share, comment on this video. Let me know what you think about 75 hard, or let me know what challenges are you facing right now that are pretty tough to deal with, and you're looking for resources and ways to overcome challenges, whether it's procrastination, whether it's laziness, whether it's anxiety, whether it's mental insecurity, defeat. Let me know what you are currently struggling with, and let's do this together. Let's grow together as we walk through trying to impact and change the world around you. I'm Tyrell. This is Perspective. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
24, so crack open them eyelids. Alarm screaming, telling the world what the time is. It's a new day.